But essentially, if we want to make good long-term profits, superior maybe to our competitors, there's only really two key things that we need to think about, two key things that we can really influence that will drive our potential to make those. The first is, I've got to use the MBA bit first, is what we call our participation strategy. Essentially, what markets are we going to play in? Or if you want to use a sporting analogy, what playing fields are we going to play in? What competitions are we going to be part of, right? So which ones? Because some markets are more attractive than others. Sure. And in some markets, you can be an average player, you can be average at what you do and make a lot of money because actually the market's a great market. In other markets, like, I don't know, let's say double glazing, sure, right? Very competitive, very price sensitive. That's not really an attractive market because you've got too much competition and too much price competition going on. So that's one thing. Which markets are we going to play in? So we may have skills that mean that we could move to a different market, a much more attractive market. But that's one thing. So which playing field? But the other then is what's our strategy to win on that playing field? And there's only two elements of that. One is our offer. Is our offer better than somebody else's? And the other is our cost position. Can we do the same thing as somebody else at the same price, but for less money internally? It costs us, so we make superior profits. Okay. Once you look at it that way, you go, okay, well, I've got a little bit of a framework to start thinking. So what is our competitive advantage? Have we really got one? We did a little bit of survey with the challenges of business owners. 80% of business owners we surveyed said they've got a USP, a unique selling point. I was a little bit surprised it wasn't 100%, right? But okay,
yeah, well, the other 20%, yeah.
Right? But 80% said that. But if you actually look at them and you ask them a couple more questions and find out, tease beneath, does that translate into a competitive advantage? Less than half of those 80%, it's about 38% in all, actually have something that they would say was a competitive advantage, really. And those sort of questions are, because if you've got a competitive advantage, if it's an offer advantage, you should be able to charge a premium over your average competitor and still grow at the market rate, still get your fair share of the business. Yep. Or if you choose to charge at the market rate, you should go faster than the market. Otherwise, you haven't got a competitive advantage, right? Or an offer advantage.
Yes.
With a cost advantage, there should be something about what you're doing internally that means at the same price as somebody else, you make more profits, higher profits. So if you haven't got either one of those two things, you need to really think about how do you get that? Am I going to do it by offer? Have I got the best service since sliced bread and everybody's going to want it because I can show that it's so much better than anybody else? Or actually, am I going to invest in that new bit of machinery? Because if I've got that bit of machinery that helps me clean driveways faster than everybody else, then I can do a driveway job with half an hour setup time instead of a 2 hour setup time, and I can do 5 jobs in a day instead of 1 job in a day. I can charge the same amount of money per job as everybody else, but I can do it much more efficiently. So you've got to think in those sort of ways, because if you want to scale, if you want to grow, because scaling is not just growth. It's not about growing our headaches even more, because that's typically what happens when we just get more clients. We just grow the headaches that we've got. It's about growing your profitability and your value at a faster rate, and your top line essentially at a faster rate than your cost base as well. So that we've got something there is a benefit to that scaling that gives us more chance of then making superior profits without it becoming too onerous to run. And we see a lot of our business owners that get to the point where they've got a successful business, and this is why we talk about the 3 to 30. If you've built a business with 5 employees, turning over maybe £500,000 or something like that, you've built a successful business. That's great. Don't let the government tell you you're a micro, right? Which is what they would class you as. Yeah. You've built a successful business, but you might be getting to the point where it's becoming a bit of a headache. It's now a challenge to manage the customers we've got, manage the people that we've got, and maybe the cash isn't coming out. And you might be thinking, how on earth could I cope if I had 10 employees? Or twice the number of customers. And really, we should be thinking about things like, if suddenly we had 5 times the number of customers knocking on our door, could we cope?